Well, a SNL skit from 7 years ago making a reemergence upon American Eagle and the jeans controversy. I love it, but I think that's in living color.
Right. Jim Carrey. Let me tell you something.
But nice try, Aaron. Nice try. The whole landscape of late night television completely changing, with a lot of stations actually removing their late night shows. The number one late night show in America is still Greg Gutfeld.
I thought you were going to say spiritual insurgency.
No, we're not really a late night show unless I just post things really late. But here's the skit because I think
late night if you
I think
watch it
I
in
think
the
it's
dark.
quite entertaining. Here's Levi's Woke by SNL.
My genes tell me I'm a man.
My genes tell me I'm a woman.
They tell me I'm relaxed.
That I'm skinny?
A child.
Yo, you don't know me, jeans.
I'm not a style.
I'm not a size.
That's not me.
I am not a child.
I'm me.
I'm unique.
I'm woke.
Woke.
I'm woke.
So, why aren't my jeans?
Now they are. Introducing Levi Wokes. Sizeless, style-neutral, gender-non-conforming denim for a generation that defies labels. Levi's heard that if you're not woke, it's bad. So we made these.
Defining someone by their style? That's offensive.
That's why Levi Wokes have no style.
What's my size? Why don't you try asking me about my accomplishments?
My wokes are size me.
They fit everybody.
Because they fit nobody.
So what colors do they come in?
Colors? I'm triggered.
This color.
Can you label this color?
That is the color Greb.
They not brown, but they not brown.
It's a handful of colors, none of which are dominant.
Just like our country. Oh, wait. Whoa.
Let's talk pockets.
Pockets sold separately.
Yo, who says I have hands?
You getting this yet? The jeans are woke.
Whoa!
Do they come in men's and women's?
Nah.
Do they come in person?
What do you think?
That's why Wokes got Unifly.
180 degrees of gender nonconformity.
My jeans let me decide how I go to the bathroom. Do yours?
What don't you get? They woke.
Whoa.
Get woke.
We're woke.
Yo, hold up. Are my wokes made in some factory by Indonesian kids?
Nah, they're made right here in the USA.
By white kids.
Woke up. It's Levi Wokes.
Woke.
Levi Wokes. Available exclusively at Ross.
Well, there you have it. Levi's Wokes. It's quite entertaining that this is like from 7 years ago, even though it's probably more relevant today.
Wow. That's really, I thought this was this week. I really thought.
Yeah,
really-
no, it's
No, it was,
like
it
to
was
be
from
fre-
7 years ago.
I thought it was a response to the Sweeney deal.
I think that's why it's reemerged.
Ah.
It was a preemptive Sweeney attack.
Preemptive Sweeney.
7 years ago, they're like, something's going to happen. We better do something about pants right now. Let's do something about jeans. Made by white kids in the USA.
So-
I was like, what is that, dude?
So here's 2 days ago, Ryan Gosling's SNL jeans commercial. Levi's woke hilariously has no style. What do woke jeans look like? SNL has the answer. NBC brought this back. That's the entertaining thing. I mean, like amongst all of the marketing
NBC?
genius, amongst all the marketing genius of American Eagle, here's NBC going, "Hey, we did this 7 years ago, people. Like, don't be talking about American Eagle. Talk about SNL." That's what they're saying.
But it's interesting that NBC is aiding and abetting American Eagle and Truth, because NBC has been a suppressor of truth for decades. So it's funny that they're helping the cause.
I just thought it was interesting that NBC's having a sense of humor again with something.
Well, here's what I want to say. So before we went in, we're all laughing. You're like, dude, SNL hasn't been funny in like years, but we're literally laughing right now. And here's the reason why we're laughing. We're laughing because comedy is truth. You cannot fake comedy. Either you're funny or you're not. You can't lie to somebody and be funny. Either you're funny or not. Comedy is based in truth. Comedy has always been on the front lines of free speech. You can judge a nation and its ability and its freedom metric and their free speech metric dependent upon how free the comics are. If you look at the 90s, you look at Chris Rock. I mean, I cringe. I kind of duck my tail in between my legs when I hear some of these jokes. Like, dang, bro, that's edgy. and I was watching Nick Fuentes the other night and on America First. That's edgy, I know. And this dude is hilarious, but in a really like provocative, edgy way, and it's resonating. He's being crowned the king of the alt-right right now, and it's Nick Fuentes, America First podcaster. But this guy is hilarious in a very controversial way, and so.
But I think that's why SNL for so long was so popular, was that they bridged the divides of the nation.
Yeah, they made fun of everything.
And then what happened was they decided to go all in on the leftist Democrat point of view, and then took a hit because nobody watches SNL anymore. If you make fun of everything like South Park does, right? Like that's one thing. People still love South Park. I think it's funny they created a character off Charlie Kirk for South Park. Did you see this?
Yes.
Happened just the other day.
I didn't see it.
It's amazing.
I saw a clip of it.
They got the Bible verses right. They got everything right, man.
Yeah.
Like and Charlie Kirk praised them. They're like, hey, I'm not offended. Like you guys did an awesome job. You know, like let's can we roll this?
Yeah,
please.
Isn't it Cartman being him?
Yep.
Watch as Eric Cartman shuts down these woke liberal students.
Oh my God, what makes you think you have the right to say what I do with my body?
Let me ask you something. If a pregnant woman is killed and the baby dies too, why is the killer charged with a double homicide?
Well, because people have different beliefs.
It's not about belief, it's about truth. Science confirms life begins at conception. So yes, Jeremiah 1:5 says, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. But it's just morality that demands we protect the most vulnerable. So let me ask you, when do you think life began?
Eric, are you all right in there?
Yeah, I'm fine, Mom. I'm just in here master debating.
Well, Eric, that's enough. Let's get out of the bathroom.
I can't, Mom. I'm master debating to these young college girls.
That's very naughty, Eric. Stop it.
Mom, I finally got sponsored by a protein powder, so I got to master debate for a couple more hours. Leviticus 9, 1 through 8. Leave me alone. Yeah, but a body growing inside a woman's body is not her body. It's a completely separate being.
Eric, what are you doing?
I'm sorry, Mom. You told me to go to sleep, but I started master debating again.
This is really getting to be a problem, Eric.
Mom, you don't understand. I'm getting really good at this. I have my arguments down rock solid. These young college girls are totally unprepared, so I can just destroy them and also edit out all the ones that actually argue back well. It just feels so good.
I understand it feels good, but that doesn't mean you do it all the time.
I'm sorry, Mommy.
Put the computer away and leave those poor college girls alone.
Okay, I won't master debate anymore tonight. Look, you can call it reproductive rights, but be honest, if the baby could speak, it would fight for its right to live. And
Eric Cartman!
I'm sorry, Mom!
my favorite part in all of that is I wonder if they literally just took direct lines, because they're good arguments. Like, they don't have him making a straw man argument, really.
They got the verses right. Yeah. The Leviticus one, I'm not sure. Jeremiah 1:5, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you before you were born. I consecrated you. I appointed you to be a prophet to the nations. It's like they got the verse right.
Mom,
South Park.
I'm master debating in here. What? I'm trying to destroy all these college girls. And any that argue back good, I'm just going to edit them out. What the?
Me and Jim clearly have a difference in sense of humor.
Yes.
You didn't find that funny, Aaron?
No, not at all.
What?
Why not?
Not funny to me. I was never a South Park guy. Never watched South Park.
Man.
They really truly have crossed political divide in a lot of respects. They make fun of everybody. I love when they go after Big Tobacco. That one is a great episode.
I'm disappointed they've never gone after old Governor Droopy Dog, Jerry Pulley, Governor Pull Sausage. I'm disappointed.
I'm surprised they haven't, because they're from here.
No, they're friends.
Sure they have.
No,
they're from here.
I haven't seen anything with it. So they like him. They're like palsies with him and stuff. They had that whole thing. And remember, they apologized. I think they apologized about the making fun of the environment stuff with Man Bear Pig or something. And I was like, dude, it's a show. Who cares? Don't apologize. Just be funny.
Governor Jared Polis was added.
Oh, he was added? They didn't make fun of him, though. He was like their buddy, though, or something, right?
Trey and Matt actually had a conversation with Jared Polis.
Yeah, when they did the Casa Bonita thing.
Is that what it was?
Yep, I really wanted to go to Casa Bonita, but I haven't made it yet. Have you made it?
No, I haven't.
Did you want to go?
I'm very interested in going. I just want to see what it's all about.
Yeah, it's...
Are we on the air right now? Are we recording? Is this the show?
This
Okay, I didn't know we were having a side conversation.
We're currently
we're doing the
live.
thing just because you answered your phone in the middle of the thing.
That video went forever, so I thought we were having a side conversation. I apologize.
Yeah.
It didn't go for that long. It only went for a minute.
Yeah, a minute and a half, and then Aaron's like, man, you were talking like people, you guys. This can't be the show. We're all communicating and laughing too much.
I had no idea.
There's no way this is a side conversation, not the show, because we're having way too much fun with this, with the master debating these college girls. Mom, you told me to go to sleep. I don't know. I think it's pretty funny. I thought it was funny. You didn't think it was funny?
No.
Okay, how come you didn't think it was funny?
I don't know how to. It just wasn't funny.
Okay.
All right, so we have Melania Trump warns Hunter Biden of billion-dollar legal action over false Epstein comments. Here's the clip from Hunter Biden. Let's start with that. Here you go.
Epstein introduced Melania to Trump. The connections are like so wide and deep. Anyway, why do we think they don't want the files released? I don't know. I think John, that thing that John Heilman says is like a long time ago. I think is the most accurate kind of assessment of them, which is everything is projection or confession. Everything. So when he puts out that tweet, he says Epstein now is the Russia hoax or the Hunter Biden laptop.
The laptop from hell, which the Democrats swore came from Russia. No, it came from Hunter Biden's bathroom.
Like, I wonder if it works.
Did he draw her?
Thank you, Sky News Australia, for that clip. No, he did not draw her.
Oh, I thought on the thing
he was painting something. I mean, this guy is like,
he's so talented. Look at him go. He can chew bubblegum and walk. What a specimen. Freaking crackhead, illegal gun buying felon, pile of trash, dude. It's like, I'm Hunter Biden, formerly known as the artist. This guy's a joke, man. What was this, a PBS special? That's what it sounded like.
It's what it looks like. It looks like it's some like painting with Hunter
He's all
Biden.
painting and talking. The connection.
I think it was posted on his Facebook, from what I read in a previous article.
Well, we know he can
This
use a
is the
computer,
article
so
that-
we're not surprised because we know he uses computers.
You know, if they polled Democrats, he would get double-digit percentage points to be a candidate for the Democrat Party.
Really?
He would get at least 9%.
You just find the trashiest pile of garbage, and you're like, man, I love it. I love it, dude. Are you on crack right now? Are you on crack right now? We're going to get people to vote for you, dude. Let me tell you.
I don't know as though he would.
You don't think Democrats would support him if they would seriously put him on a ballot to be polled?
Take over Newsom.
I think that if it were between him and Kamala, they would totally support Hunter Biden over Kamala. But I don't.
Can you imagine what that says about Kamala Harris?
Good.
We'd rather have
Exactly
a
what it
crackhead.
says.
Good golly.
This is the Democrat Party that's the side of the party that's still upset that they completely ignored democracy and installed Kamala as the presidential candidate.
Oh, yeah. They didn't even have a primary, did they? They didn't do anything.
Well, they did, but Joe Biden had won the primary.
Okay, then they just inserted her. They're like, oh, well, you're the backup. Here you go, right?
Yeah, which they should have gone
with whoever was the second place, right? The runner-up?
What?
Who was the runner-up on that?
What they should have done was probably actually held an open convention, which they didn't do. That was the right move, was to hold an open convention. But they
just
did
brought Hunter Biden up there and been like, hi, I'm Hunter Biden, formerly known as the artist and crackhead. Vote for me.
There's actually a chance that the Democrats might have won had they have had an open primary or an open convention at that point. But I still don't think they would have. I think Trump was just
right
barreling
so
down
she wants
the
to
track.
sue him for $1 billion?
She is threatening a lawsuit of $1 billion for defamation.
Okay, I got you. So because he's saying, so essentially while he's up there painting, he's going, look, the Epsteiner introduced them. That's what he's saying?
Yeah, it's one thing, and I'm not an attorney, but it's one thing when you suggest or make implications that somebody was somehow involved. It's a whole other thing when you just when you poise it as fact.
Oh.
Hunter Biden poised it as fact. Melania Trump was introduced to Donald Trump by Jeffrey Epstein. Like
Gotcha.
it came out of his mouth as if it were fact. It didn't come out of his mouth as if it were a potential as if it were an accusation.
He wasn't being artsy about it.
No, he was only being artsy with whatever the heck this drawing is.
So
that
it's
he's creating.
potentially a defamation case.
It is a defamation case. I don't know if Melania Trump will actually go through with the lawsuit, but she's demanding an apology and a retraction.
They'll settle out of court for 5 of his paintings, 2 of his laptops, and 1 crack rock, and 3 illegally bought guns.
It always seems like we're like in a preschool. Like, you need to apologize to Johnny. Johnny, you go apologize to Mary. Like, why are we acting like preschoolers?
Yeah, I don't like the artist formerly known as Hunter Biden, and he can say what he wants to say, man. It's freedom of speech, even if he is a dirtbag pile of trash. That's what I think, and I think it's stupid with the.
I don't know, man. I think it'd be fun at a party.
What?
Hunter Biden would be a blast.
I don't think South Park was funny, but you think Hunter Biden's going to be fun at a party with you?
Politics aside, I think Hunter Biden and I would have a blast.
That sounds terrible. What the?
So,
bring your own laptop party.
So Polis has constantly flirted with South Park, which I think is it's actually kind of entertaining. I do give him credit at times, right? He was poking fun at Donald Trump and posted an image of himself as a South Park character to make fun of Trump wanting his picture removed or replaced at the Capitol. Jared Polis on April Fool's said, "I've replaced my image too, and here's a South Park character of me."
Oh, yeah.
And then he also, on March 16th, posted this: "Our relationship with Canada brings vast benefits to Coloradans, from good-paying jobs to robust trade partnerships, tourists, and even prominent fictional characters in Colorado's famous show." And here's Jared Polis with, the 2 Canadians, which I think is really funny. How
Terrence and Phillip with their floppy heads.
Well, 3 of them, because also the baby. But yes,
don't kick the baby.
it's pretty funny how South Park has always portrayed Canadians.
Yeah, poorly. We just call it what it is. Canadians with their floppy heads. They're all mean about it.
South Park is anti-Canadian.
No, and then they got the
yes.
They got, what is it, Ugly Terry from Canada, and he just wears a paper bag over his head, and they're like, "Show me your face."
You know, we have a term anti-Semite. It's anti-Canuck. South Park is anti-Canuck.
They hate maple syrup.
And I stand in solidarity with all of Canadians, and I'm really serious about that.
Canuck a whale?
I thought Canuck was a derogatory term for a Canadian.
Oh man, yeah. Let's ask Ryan Reynolds, right?
Do you guys want to cover Gmail or Kennedy asking people to buy a pair?
It's a slang term for Canadian.
It is
a slang. That's what
Canuck.
I thought. A Canuck.
Yeah, but it's not like bad. They don't get mad about it. They're not upset. They're like the Irish. They don't get mad about stupid crap.
Canadians are the most apologetic people on the planet. I'm really.
Well, depends where they're at.
I'm really serious about that.
Might be French Canadians you're speaking about.
Shout out to Worry Tendo out there in Vancouver City. He told me all about Canada.
Oh man, Terrence.
I mean, Canuck is actually a whale in
so it's both
in SeaWorld.
Nice.
Okay.
So fun. I don't know if it was named after the Canucks and the hockey team who.
That is a hockey team, isn't it?
Well, and they display a whale as part of their logo.
Nice.
So, or an orca, I should say. Whatever the heck it is.
No, I got you. That thing was pretty funny with old Jerry Pulley, old Governor Droopy Dog, man. I replaced mine too, and it's a picture of him from South Park. You know, that was part of his staff or team that did that. It wasn't him. That dude's not very funny.
I mean, I don't know.
It had to be somebody on his part of his staff or team, because that dude's not.
Then his team got one thing right every once in a while, because
but
the
it's
majority of the time they don't get it right.
It's the most minute, little, non-important thing. They do good.
Aaron, what do we got next?
Thank you.
You're ready to move on, I could tell.
I am so ready to move on. I had no idea what was going on. But theredstate.com is reporting it's about time. Kern County, California bans boys from girls' sports. Not all California has gone off the deep end. Bakersfield, California is the most notable area there in Kern, with a population of almost 1 million, is saying no more. The Kern County Board of Education approved a resolution to comply with federal definition of Title IX, right? The vote comes amid a feud and lawsuit between the state and President Donald Trump's administration over the issue of males competing in girls' sports. I think this trend is going to continue. I think we're seeing this throughout every sector of society, that sanity is returning, and it's returning in Kern County. I think this is great. I mean, they're going back to the basic speed, strength, and stamina. Boys have all the advantage. We are not going to compete men against women. So, yeah, good job, Kern County, California.
That's Bakersfield, what you said?
Bakersfield.
Oh, that place sucks.
Yes, it does.
That place sucks, and they're taking a stance first. You know what? It's a win for Bakersfield.
But I mean, Kern County is overwhelmingly Republican.
Yeah.
That's right.
Very similar to El Paso County. Unlike the rest of the state of California, 60% voted for Trump out there. That was the primary vote getter in the last election, and majority of their representation is also Republican.
ThePostMillennial.com. Elon Musk promises self-driving taxi cars across U.S. as Tesla seeks to hire operators in NYC. This is crazy because I'm in the kind of like the logistics game. I'm in the restaurant delivery business, so I keep up with this information. And Q2 numbers from Wall Street just hit this week. DoorDash, Uber Eats are all reporting record profits. They broke all expectations. I look at that data. I look at this article from the Post Millennial, and I'm imagining people sitting in giant rooms with joysticks, driving real cars around New York. You guys, the world is changing before our eyes. It's moving rapidly.
That's how you see it. I see it like Total Recall. Remember the Johnny Cab where it's like a robot body turnaround?
Yeah.
Welcome to Johnny Cab.
Yeah, I see that too.
I see that more than anything.
Absolutely.
You're like, what? Just rips him out of there and starts driving it.
I don't know. It's just a warning that the world is changing at a rapid clip, and
I think the future of all this stuff is going to turn out being that your robot that you own is going to go out, and that's how you're going to get your supplemental income in the future. You're going to have whatever it is, whether it's an automated freaking car, a silly robot that makes food, whatever it is that you own, that's how you're going to get your income in the future.
I just want to know if there's an expectation that you tip a robot. Because if
you say that, does it mean like cow tip the robot?
No,
like your food and you knock
like,
it over.
I cannot imagine. I will not order DoorDash, Uber, any delivery, because you pay for the food, which oftentimes is at a much higher price than it would be if you were to just drive to the restaurant. Then you pay a delivery fee, and on top of that, you tip. And if you don't tip enough, then people are upset. And sometimes you don't get your food. Like the idea that you can run a business and be like, I'm going to dictate whether or not I'm going to deliver your food based on your tip is absolutely absurd.
Yeah, for the record, I tip with cash and just tell whoever serves me, I'm like, put it in your pocket and don't say a word. Tell them I'm a big jerk and I don't tip nothing. Put that cash in your pocket. Don't say I tipped you nothing. I gave you that.
Well, no, it doesn't really matter. No tax on tips, right? But
or they implement
Colorado
that? I
wants
thought
to,
they didn't implement that.
No, they
I thought the state. I thought the state was still taxing, but the federal wasn't taxing.
So Colorado was going to institute a tax on tips when the federal government took the tax away. That was. Colorado's completely jacked up. They're heading into a special session next week because they have one of the largest budget shortfalls in the country, and it's mostly because they failed to heed the warning of the federal government when they said, we will take away your federal funds if you continue down this path, and they continued down the path.
No, and they started making things cost a lot more. Just doing like recording now used to be like $13 if you wanted to record a document at the records. Now it's $43, dude. So they're trying to fish all that money as fast as they can because that just changed.
What would happen to all this marijuana money? I thought we were supposed to be swimming in marijuana money in Colorado.
That was supposed to be cannabis cash.
It still doesn't matter because if you lose the federal funds, you have to make up for the federal funds. What did they spend the marijuana money on? They spend it on crap, right?
Bridges.
Like they keep spending and spending and spending, and every year the budget gets bigger and bigger and bigger because they have to institute their woke policy.
They spend it on affordable housing.
Exactly, and I mean,
what is with me today?
What these Democrat governors are doing is absurd, right? California, Newsom loses all federal funds to continue down this pathway of building a train that crosses the entire state, a bullet train, loses the federal funding. Why? They haven't done anything to actually progress in this fashion of creating a train that goes from San Diego to San Francisco in records amounts of time. They got billions of dollars in funding, haven't done anything with it, but supposedly
not one
they spent
foot
the
of
money.
track, right?
No, they did build. I think there's one portion of the track complete, but it's been 15 years.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It has been like a decade and a half, huh? And then aren't they talking about doing that here now? They're like, oh, from Trinidad up to Aurora and over to DIA. They're talking about some train thing again here.
I don't have a problem with it so
If they
long
do
as
it.
gets done.
And reasonably, not and affordably in time.
Listen,
And
if I could hop on a train
I would.
from here and go to Denver in 15 minutes,
yeah.
I totally would take that train.
They'd be like, where are you going? I'm going to Mile High, San Francisco. Take me there. Where are you going now? I'm going to go down to Pueblo, which is Little Pittsburgh. Take me to Little Pittsburgh. I'd be getting parts and stuff from everywhere all the time, hopping on the train. $10 a trip. Be like, yeah, let's go.
Take me to Castle Rock. Take me to
let's go.
Like, take me. Like, I'd be down. I'm totally down. Like, the public transit system in a lot of other countries are far more superior to the United States.
I mean, for years in California, they were talking about a high-speed bullet train from LA to Las Vegas. Do you guys remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And that kind of just dwindled off. Nothing ever happened.
Well, that's kind of like here with the thing. Remember the Springs Airport? And then what do they say? They're like, oh, we're going to be able to fly anywhere. And you're like, dude, all you did was fly me to Denver and do the same flight. You told me it was going to be direct, man. Because I was supposed to be able to get from here to like San Diego, here to LA. I think they have here to Vegas. I think that's one that we have for sure. But we were supposed to get everywhere, but they pulled all that. Remember all the funding for the airport here?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you'll go straight from here to wherever. You can go from here to, we'll be able to go to other countries. We'll go to Japan or whatever. But then it's like, no, they just fly me to Denver.
They just fly to Denver for like 30 minutes.
Well, and Polis's huge thing is a 15-minute city, right?
Gross.
Polis wants the entire state to have or be 15-minute cities.
Well, that's because Polis is an agent for the technocracy. I mean, the 15-minute city is globalism. I mean, we know that, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So Denver is probably on the forefront of being the first tyrannical lockdown city in America. Like we're in the cutting edge of tyranny. Speaking of tyranny, Gavin Newsom is waging war against Donald Trump. He just tweeted, "It's time to call Greg Abbott and tell him to stand down. You are not entitled to 5 congressional seats. If you do not call your lapdogs off, California will act quickly and swiftly. We will go to the ballot. We will neutralize whatever gains you make. We will not stand by while you light democracy on fire." Jason Lupo.
Sure, Newsom. When the new census data comes out and you've excluded all of the illegal immigrants that from the districting, you will lose seats. You will lose a lot of seats. More seats than you've already lost in the last couple of years because you've already lost seats because people don't want to live in your state anymore.
Exodus.
You will lose more seats. And so you're not going to neutralize anything with Texas. In fact, this country, when you eliminate the illegal immigrants from the redistricting and from the districting and drawing the lines, this country will be overwhelmingly Republican. In fact, a Democrat will be hard-pressed to win in a lot of these jurisdictions. And furthermore, if you prevent the illegals from voting, furthermore, there will be zero Democrat control of any house or any part of the United States government for a very long time to come.
Yeah, I mean, Princeton University's gerrymandering project, which grades congressional maps based on a partisan advantage, competitiveness, and geographic integrity, has rated California's congressional map a B. However, the map received an F for competitiveness relative to other maps that could have been drawn. Look, I lived in California practically my whole life. You guys have as well. I don't know if you guys agree with this, but California is conservative. It is, everybody thinks everybody else is progressive and liberal, and you got to be this closet conservative, and you're not supposed to speak out. And then Trump comes onto the scene in 2024 and reveals the secret that was very well kept, which is California is a bastion of conservatism. It actually is. You have deep blue LA, deeply blue San Francisco, which probably is a very small geographic area, and then you have literally the entire continent of Europe, which I think is almost equivalent to the geographic size of California, of really conservatives. And California is such a conundrum because the optics is that it's this really progressive state, and I think Gavin Newsom exposes that when he's wanting to redistrict once again. It's like rearranging chairs on the Titanic, dude. Your state is conservative. I don't know. Do you guys
sinking first?
Yeah.
Rearrange the seats on the Titanic. Nice.
I mean, you are right. There's a big chunk of California that is conservative. There's also plenty of places that are not.
Well, I'd say I wouldn't necessarily say it's conservative. I'd say it's a bunch of people that are tired of being taxed to death, tired of being overworked, tired of being told that every time you earn something, it has to go to some other program or some kind of thing while you're driving on crappy roads and things are going to everything else except for where you live. Your stuff's being trashed and destroyed by nonsense. So I don't know if I'd necessarily say it's all conservative. I'd just say it's people that are tired of big government and everybody telling them what to do.
There are
close,
areas.
but you know what I'm saying.
There are plenty of areas that are ultimately conservative.
Northern California wants to be its own St. Jefferson. I mean,
no, not all of Northern California, right? And part of the problem is that you have these old school Democrats, and especially when you talk about farm communities and agriculture across the United States.
Kennedy Democrats?
Yes. The farming community, the agricultural community still believes that the Democrats have their back. Why? The Democrats have always stood very strongly on farming subsidies. They've never worked to take away money from any farming industry. Now, the Republicans haven't either. They've all been together, hand in hand, walking down, giving subsidies to corn farmers for generations. Yet, the modern thinking is still that the Democrats have the farmers' back, which I don't believe is really the truth.
No,
I
because
believe
didn't
it's a
they
lie.
they pushed all those Monsantos, whatever that company's seeds. And stuff.
Monsanto.
There we go. Thank you. All that seeds and stuff that don't germinate right, and you have to like keep buying every season or crap, and some weird stuff too. So they kind of screwed a lot of the farmers in California.
Sounds like a cologne.
It sounds like a cologne.
What is that?
What it smells like.
You smell like Monsanto.
I just want to be done. I'm hoping that RFK gets us to a point in this country where we completely stop growing corn and the multitudes that were presently growing corn. I think we've had enough. We don't need corn product and everything. We don't need corn starch and everything. Let's go back to sugarcane. Let's go grow sugarcane. Keep Monsanto out of my sugar. That's going to be my tagline next time I run. Keep Monsanto out of my sugar. It's not, but
he's all over there punching a cornflakes.
Yes. No. I actually try not to eat a whole lot of corn because I truly believe that genetically modified organisms are extremely bad for you.
Gmail is caught burying GOP fundraising emails, according to townhall.com. Political consulting firm Targeted Victory claims Gmail has been flagging Republican fundraising emails containing WinRed links as dangerous and sending many straight to spam folders. WinRed, the GOP central online fundraising platform, brought in roughly $1.6 billion for the 23-24 cycle. Compared to its Democrat counterpart, ActBlue appears to face no such labeling, with no emails containing its links going through unimpeded. Google's always been an arm for the deep state. Google is a creature of, the establishment. It's one of their weapons. Google, in case you're not familiar with yet, they're your enemy. They want you dead. They're spying on you. They're waging war on your mind by manipulating search results. I work with local businesses on a daily basis, and it's a shame how they treat small businesses. It's an absolute shame. Google is an anathema. I hate you, Google. Okay, that's it. I'm done. I got my Google stuff out of my systems. Thank you.
So they're just taking so it's a political or election interference then, right? Would it not be? I mean, everybody got mad about hearing about Russia possibly interfering with elections. So what about Google interfering with elections?
So it is in a way election interference. Here's the magic. Okay. Here's the magic. Here's the magic definitions that we have to resolve. And we have to resolve this because each and every one of us believes in a free market economy.
Yeah.
Right? And as a free market economy, you would also believe that corporations have the right to do whatever the hell they want. Right? They're private organizations.
It'll reflect at the register.
And so now you have Google, who's a private organization who's chosen to do whatever the hell they want, and is basically shadow banning GOP organizations and has been caught. Now, when you talk about First Amendment rights hold up in what? A public square. Well, in the case of some states, they've made private business the public square. For instance, the state of Colorado. In other states, the public square is still only the public square, and private businesses are not treated as such. The federal government presently does not treat private organizations as the public square. Now you usher in places like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and now you have to ask the question, did you create a public square? And if you create a public square, then now you cannot censor First Amendment, like you cannot censor speech. It's a violation of everybody's First Amendment. When you talk about Gmail and you talk about email
service,
you're also talking about canned spam laws, and you're talking about email laws, because email laws exist when it comes to fundraising. Now, ironically, most of those laws do not apply to who? Political organizations. So in the political realm, no, some of them actually do apply to religious organizations.
Oh, okay.
But in the political realm, you can basically spam anybody that you want with data that you purchase, and it's a huge business and it's a big business. So there's a lot of different pieces to this conversation that have to be addressed. And we also have to balance it with the fact that we are talking about a private organization, which is actually publicly traded. So one could also make that argument. It's a whole nother story. But what this ultimately says is, hey guys, maybe it's time to move away from Gmail.
Yeah. Pick and choose something better, I guess. What other options are there now?
But the vast majority of the general public just sign up for these free mainline services. I mean, we have probably hundreds of millions of Gmail users.
It's not even free. It's just free intrusion of your privacy.
Yeah. So, Jason, let me ask you this, because what you said is interesting. So, if these private corporations, which ironically are publicly traded, are now observably a public square, because the world has changed. The public square is now digital. So would you be of the opinion that these companies need to be labeled as such, that they're public squares, and they need to be treated as such?
So this was the argument that took place a number of years ago.
I remember it.
And the conversation always goes back to, because there's no barrier of entry to create an account, essentially you've created a public square. Now, all these lawsuits have been settled prior to there actually being a precedent set by the court, which is very ironic in a lot of cases, because I think that the American public wants a precedent. But what we could see is that you have charges for a Gmail service. You have a charge for your Facebook. You have a charge for your Instagram, because when you put up a price, you've no longer created a public square because there's a barrier of entry into it. And so what we could see is we could start seeing charges for you to enter into these social media platforms, which would then protect them from essentially, quote unquote, creating a public square. Now that hasn't happened because there's been no precedent that's been set, and because they've tended to settle before it got to that point. But that is what we could see. So if Google wants to continue down this route, we could see that there's a barrier to entry to their service, that maybe there's a fee to pay to access YouTube. Now,
I don't think I'd use it then personally.
Which is what a lot of people would say.
Right?
And so the question truly becomes, okay, now here's what Google is going to have to decide. If we ever get to the point where we have precedent, which I sure hope that we do. When we get to the point where we have precedent and you've created a public square and you're making the choice whether or not you're going to charge somebody to enter into a private square, they have to balance out the ad revenue loss that they're going to ensue. And so they're going to ensue a ton of ad revenue loss when the user database goes down by half or 3/4 or 7/8. Because right now, plenty of people are accessing YouTube on one of 8 different Gmail accounts, because not many people only have one Gmail account.
Okay, that's neat. YouTube's actually been doing some weird stuff too lately. I found out so like I'm big on cars and stuff. I'm a car guy. Got a bunch of cars from Japan, yada yada. And then I have a bunch of friends that do a lot of track stuff and everything. But YouTube's been taking down videos of track stuff, doing burnouts and car stuff and speeding around on the track and stuff lately too.
Probably because it's too masculine.
I don't know, but they've been taking it down. I mean, like, there's a bunch of big car people that have like Cletus McFarlane and some stuff like, I don't know if you know who that is or not. He bought that big racetrack. I used to do a bunch of car stuff. There's a lot of Adam LZ and a lot of these other car guys that have like just car content, and they're taking their stuff down with like any of the burnouts or any of the other things going on. Which, by the way, I met Adam LZ. That guy's actually pretty cool. He made a little video for my son, which I thought was awesome. But But yeah, YouTube's been doing weird stuff with certain things. I just noticed the car thing, but I heard there's other things where they're like pulling stuff down randomly, going, "No, we don't want it to be shown." So, but yeah, I think if they charge, I don't think I'd use any of it.
It's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen.
Would you charge? Would you use it even if it was $1 a month or something?
I don't know as though we're gonna get to that point. I think right now they're going to. Here's what I believe is going to happen. Right now they are trying to prevent any of this from gaining a precedent. Right? They don't want this to show up in the Supreme Court because at this point they know that they're going to lose, and so they're settling a lot of these cases out of court. Now, if it ever does get to a point where we have some sort of judicial precedent set that they've created a public square, what I believe will happen is the censorship will end, which I think that what we saw post 2020 election cycle was that a lot of the censorship actually did go down, not completely disappearing, but it was less apparent that these companies and these organizations were censoring content.
Oh, they were kind of getting like one step ahead of it, going, "Oh, if we keep doing this, there's going to be a thing where you can't be censoring stuff." So they kind of limited it to kind of take a step ahead, sort of.
And there's also
to not have
like,
to go to the Supreme Court.
So what's interesting is that the legacy media, so print, radio, television,
those guys ain't doing it.
Right? Print, radio, television. The law is that number one, you have to allow for both sides, both parties, any candidate to buy advertising. If you're going to allow candidates to provide advertising or buy advertising, you have to allow all candidates to buy advertising, and you cannot give discounts to your preferred candidate. So none of these legacy media companies can give a discount to the Democrats for advertising.
Well, on top of it, too, though, the other thing where, like, if you're a candidate and you show up on a show for an interview, and I'm a candidate for a thing, and they're supposed to give me the opportunity to have the time if I ask them. Whether it's a text, an email, whatever, I'm supposed to get the opportunity, correct?
So it's called the equal time provision, and basically that is correct. So equal time provision says that in these legacy media sources, that if you allow one candidate an interview, you have to also allow for equal time for the other side of the party.
Which I will tell you, me being
requested.
a candidate, I requested time, and I did not get my time to do it on a couple things, which I was pretty irritated with.
So you have to do it within a certain amount of time.
Yeah, no, I did. I was in the time limit and the stuff, but we'll leave that on the table. But I'm just saying I experienced it, and I was like, huh.
And also on top of that, there's nothing that says that you have to be treated fairly in the process either. But furthermore, if you look at like Dr. Oz, right, when he ran for Senate, his show was removed because I think it was ABC at the time is where his show was hosted. ABC was concerned about the equal time provision and basically didn't want to have to provide the opportunity for somebody else to essentially syndicate a show if they so pleased on their channel.
Yeah, because you have to log the time, yeah.
But going back to what the point of this whole thing is that these advertising provisions and this equal time provision does not necessarily apply outside of legacy media, right? You can't go to the Rumble host or the YouTube host and say, you have a podcast and you interviewed so-and-so, so you have to interview the other person. That doesn't exist in that space. So the landscape of social media is kind of the wild, wild west still, even though we're 20 years into this. It's still the wild, wild west. So what transpires in the next, 10, 15 years is going to be very interesting because at some point there's going to be an element of law and order.
I think it might be earlier. I think it might be within the next 5 years. Honestly.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
They're pushing it down the road. They're trying to kick it down the road.
The can down the road
as far as they can. And shareholders are doing the shareholders are not going to put pressure on these companies to create this sort of law and order in the social media land because their profits and their shares are at stake. So
that makes sense.
There's conflicting interests in terms of whether or not we're going to see any precedent set and whether or not we're going to see any sort of law and order in the social media space. So I don't think we see much of anything come down the pipeline anytime soon.
No, and I think we'd also be remiss not to mention the fact that these social media companies are fronts for the technocracy, for the federal government. The federal government wants to keep tabs on the population, and they do it by surveilling the public through the iPhones, through the Androids, through these social media platforms. They're collecting trillions upon trillions amounts of data. They're running it through NSA supercomputers. They're needing the public to be on these platforms. They want as many people on these platforms as possible. This is serving the best interests of the oligarchs. So I don't ever see it going any. I don't ever see this business model changing.
Oh no, I hear you. Yeah, there's a lot of data and a lot of information. That's a lot of statistics. That's a lot of what society's doing, what the trends are, not trending, what's popular, what's to talk about or not. Yeah.
Our enemy craves power, and these social media platforms give them the power that they crave.
And a lot of advertising. That's a lot of. You're right. That is a lot of information to be profiting off of in many different facets.
I love lifenews.com. They've been on a roll lately. They got an article out today that's really interesting. It's kind of all the good and all the bad in one article. Governor Glenn Youngkin orders investigation of a school that arranged secret abortions. Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin announced August 13th that he has directed state police to open a full criminal investigation into allegations that officials at a Fairfax County high school facilitated abortions for minor students. Catholic Vote reported last week that a WC Dispatch Substack article claimed a school social worker booked and paid for an abortion appointment for a minor student without notifying the girl's parents, a violation of Virginia law. The same social worker allegedly attempted to coerce a second student into having an abortion. Fairfax County Public Schools has launched its own investigation into these allegations. I don't know what your opinion is of Youngkin. I think I've heard a lot of people on the right be critical of him, but every now and then these Republicans get it right. I think this should totally be an investigation.
I think as a whole, every once in a while, these career politicians do something that's the right thing to do, but I don't always think it's for the right reasons. But this is a good thing to do. And once again, it sounds like the schools are like definitely overreaching on like their authority with our children, our kids, the ones that are, we're supposed to be raised. I think they are. This is disgusting and terrible, and it should never, ever be this way. I mean, what do you think? The schools definitely overreach with their authority with our children, right?
This goes back to the whole idea of like social work and what the
social worker at a school. I didn't know that was a thing.
What the jurisdiction of a social worker is and what they're supposed to do, and the whole dynamic of the government basically claiming responsibility of your children and claiming that your children are the government's.
No.
That's where we're heading with this whole thing. And
you're going to get a fight out of me on that.
And so, basically here's another example of removing parents from any sort of decision making. The schools are complicit in it. The social workers are complicit in it. The police force in a lot of states are complicit in it. The judicial system is complicit in it. The district attorneys are complicit in it. That's what's happening.
Yeah, we need to take back our culture. We need to take back society. I mean, this is becoming very obvious that all areas of society have been overrun, taken over. We're responding. WashingtonExaminer.com, D.C. police chief allows officers to work with ICE to arrest illegal immigrants. Hello, this is common sense. Entering the country illegally is a crime. If a police officer engages with an illegal, they need to refer him to the immigration agencies.
Detain and transport.
Obama, if I'm, and maybe you guys can correct me on this, but I want to say that in Obama's first term, he enacted the release policy, arrest and release, or something along those lines, that basically made it impossible for law enforcement to cooperate with immigration enforcement.
Oh, was that thing with the promissory? Like you'll show up in court 5 months from now on a Tuesday and we'll see. Oh, yes, I will be there for my deal.
Yeah, it reminds me of that scene in Dumb and Dumber where they're handing out IOUs in Aspen.
They're called personal recognizance bonds.
Oh, okay.
There's a term for it.
Personal recognizance.
I got
Show
you.
up.
Encyclopedia. The guy that can't announce any or pronounce any names proper, but he's like, listen to this term and this definition has them all on point.
They're
Can't say a
personal
name right.
recognizance bonds.
Can't say a name properly.
It's a promise to
Got
show
all
up
the
in court.
definitions.
Aaron, will you pull up the story with Illinois right now and the Texas Democrats?
Oh, is that still going on?
Oh, yeah.
What the fun? Man.
Illinois, Texas. I'm just putting Illinois, Texas.
No, but on your thing with these promissory illegal alien court cases and stuff, and I don't. I don't get how non-citizens, how illegal aliens have more say for a place than the people, the citizens. That doesn't make any sense. So DC's at least doing it right, you know?
Well, we do have an article that's 3 hours old as the time of this recording, and this is coming, it looks like from a local Illinois group, the Center Square. They're reporting that Illinois Quick Hits Court rejects lawsuit against Texas Democrats, no charges for police. An Adams County judge has rejected a lawsuit against 33 Texas House Democrats who absconded from the state to stop legislative proceedings. The suit, filed by Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton and Illinois State Senator Jill Tracy, Republican, asked the Texas Democrats be held in contempt, which would have allowed for them to be arrested and returned to their home state. Judge Scott Larson ruled that the plaintiffs had failed to present a legal basis for the court to obtain subject matter jurisdiction. In addition, Cook County State's Attorney Eileen O'Neill Burke announced Wednesday that police officers would not be charged in connection with the shooting of a Chicago man during a traffic stop last year. What are your thoughts?
So somebody's obviously super complicit in this situation. So Texas said we are legally obligated to pay you, but the law does not state that we have to pay you in any specific fashion. And so therefore, if you want to be paid, your checks are going to be at your workplace. Come pick them up. So basically they said to the Texas Democrats, if you want to be paid, you have to show up to pick up your check, at which time there's handcuffs waiting for you.
Direct deposit isn't working. Our bad.
Yeah, it's not legally a required situation.
It's nice.
So this
At least
is what
they still got their checks, because I would have been a jerk and been like, I gave you the equivalent value in, like, you know, what are those little plush animals? Do you remember everybody thought they were collectors in like the 90s? I don't remember what they were called.
MrBeast?
No, the TY babies.
Yeah, you remember what I'm talking about? I've been like, yeah, you got the equivalent value. In
Texas Democrats.
The TY little stuffed animal.
Will get paid in
value.
Beanie Babies.
They were just, in bags. Here you go.
But at some point, you'd think that these Democrats are going to want their money. Somebody's paying for them to be out there. I mean, obviously they're being housed somewhere. There's plenty of people complicit in this action, but at some point, I think the Texas governor, I think Abbott's just going to say, you know what, start your vacancies.
Can you imagine the optics of Texas Democrats getting arrested by a state sergeant of arms? That would just be so wild. That would, I don't know.
I think with all this goofy stuff, that's why we need to bring duels back in politics. Right here with these kind of regions, be like, oh, we're not gonna. All right,
dude. If that were to happen, it would like trigger some ancestral memory, and like all the patriots would just rise up and like actually act like men.
Yeah, I'm not sure what their vacancy procedures are in Texas, but I'm pretty sure that at some point they're going to replace these. Now they have to replace them with Democrats.
Is that a special election, or is it? How does that?
Every state's different.
Okay,
but I'm different in how they fill a vacancy in their House seats.
I'm scared, but you tell me that they're going to replace them with other Democrats. What I picture is like they're going to
leave too.
Well, we're going to get like the junior varsity team. We're going to get like the backup squad, and those guys are probably worse.
Oh crap!
Third
string
guys are going to
string quarterback types.
I don't think so, because
Kicker's the quarterback.
If the governor gets to place, so in some states, so for instance in the state of Colorado, you have a vacancy committee. Now that law's changed, now you have a vacancy committee, and then it goes to a special election at the next regularly scheduled election.
Okay.
It used to be that it was a vacancy committee; it was filled until the seat was back up again. If the vacancy committee could not come to an agreement as to who should fill the vacancy, the governor has the ability to appoint who fills that vacancy, so long as it's of the same party. Not all states are the same. Some states, the governor just gets to choose the replacement of the vacancy. And so if that's how Texas rolls, then Governor Abbott would just choose what Democrat he wants to place in that seat. And most likely they're going to be more centrist or more conservative-leaning Democrats.
I hope they're dinos. Democrats in name only.
Yes, give me a ton of Tulsi Gabbards in the.
I want dinosaurs.
Yes.
I'm just picturing the whole thing like a competition. It's like, what are you doing? Duels, demolition derbies, and drag races, monster trucks. And then they're like,
so I personally think
they're like,
I think you give it to MrBeast. I think you allow MrBeast to choose to come up with a way to determine
I don't
who
pick that guy.
fills the vacancy.
That dude likes diaper sniffers. Let's not ever mention his name again. That dude, I do not like that diaper sniffer.
Ken Paxton's cutting a deal with MrBeast. That would be amazing.
He's on my list of people to duel.
I like that. You need to float that idea.
What?
Ken Paxton.
That idea.
Ken Paxton needs to get in touch with MrBeast people, and we need to make it happen. That's the solution right there.
No, MrBeast likes diaper sniffers. He's on my list of people.
I don't know this story. Do you want to fill us in?
Oh, that dude had a bunch of the guys that are on his thing are like pedos or some craziness and a bunch of stuff. So honestly, some of the kids in my family liked. I mean, you can look it up and get all the details. I don't have all the details, but the minute I heard about it, the kids wanted to buy some of his stuff that he sells at the Target and the Walmarts, and I was like, nah, dude, we don't support anybody that's associated, likes pedos, no diaper sniffer, liking nobody, nothing. I don't care. That's sick. That's gross. And it's supposed to be his friend or something, and there's a couple of them. I don't have all the details, but no, I won't watch any of that dude stuff. I won't let the kids watch that dude stuff. I advocate against it. I won't let anybody buy none of his stuff. I don't care if it's on clearance. None of that stuff. I don't care if you get a coupon. Buy one, get 10 free. I ain't getting nothing that says MrBeast on it at all. Pedo-loving, dirtbag piece of trash, dude. Screw that guy. He can go kick off to the curb and start just going away as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I didn't know any of this. I mean, I'm kind of scrolling through it, and it looks like, yeah, it's pretty interesting.
He supports diaper sniffers, dude. He's a sick freak, too. And if you're part of that, screw you, too.
So
Can we want cancel culture? That's where cancel culture should be in play. You like a bunch of pedos, you like rapists, you like sex traffickers, you're a sicko, or you associate with sickos, which means you're probably part of the problem, and you're probably associated with that stuff if you're accepting it, and it means you're complacent, and you're complicit. So screw you. That's where cancel culture needs to go into play. There's where we boycott stuff. So boycott MrBeast. He's a pile of trash.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Diaper sniffing, loving piece of garbage, dude. Screw that guy. I'll fight him.
This is interesting. Well, I mean, just the show.
Yeah, no, I'll fight.
We're obviously running out of time, so if you want to catch more of this content, you got to go to YouTube and Rumble and watch our previous episodes.
Don't buy any MrBeast stuff. Don't watch his shows. Don't watch it on YouTube. Screw that guy. Unsubscribe to his garbage.
All right, Aaron, you got like 20 seconds. Wrap up.
I got to wrap it up, guys. Oh, mercy. I just feel like the world is spinning and changing at a rapid pace. And as the world gets faster and as we get more and more information and as we get more stimulated and more distracted and the more multiplies, we need to find that quiet space. We need to go on that walk. We need to be in silence. We need to turn off our phones. And we just need to still our hearts. And we need to meditate and pray and center ourselves and seek the Lord.
Well, this has been Spiritual Insurgency. Join us every day on YouTube and Rumble. God bless.
Peace.
Want it better, be better.